Hello, I'm back for our spiritual check-in. I went on a little boldly earlier, a few minutes ago, without the filters, and I was out there in the raw wild without any filters, and they were especially wild out in the jungle. So I had to stop that live stream, and come back with filters so that I can have a normal conversation. I want to thank you. I don't feel like repeating the entire intro because it was a nice, fun, juicy intro, and I do not want to repeat it, so I'm not going to. But I will tell you that I am a spiritual life coach, shaman, intuitive empath, author, mother of 5, divorcee, healed myself from many, many things, was an alcoholic in my 30s from trauma, PTSD, and lack of education, and healed from that as well, and many other things. And now I help people with their healing journey, their dark night of the soul. I help people heal their minds, their hearts, and help them to get back on the horse. And the first time I went live today, just like 15 minutes ago, I had this beautiful long intro, and now I'm not in the mood to do it again. So that's as far as I'm going to take it. So if you know who I am, you jump right in. Hello, welcome. Tell me where you're from and what today's topic is about. I'm going to go over it with you, but if you want to talk about any other topic, you can. But today's topic is going to be how to bring magic into the ordinary. So if you you feel like your life is very ordinary and there's nothing exciting happening, I like to help people figure out ways that you can get in there and start inserting little bits of magic in your life to help you kind of feel more empowered and get excited. Because if you're depressed, or if you feel like, what's the point, then it's no fun. So I want to make sure you have the tools that you can begin the process of learning how to tap into your magic. So I'm here. Let me just see if we are live. I'm still waiting to come on. Let me double check. Make sure everything's okay on my end. Looks like everything's good. Okay. Yeah, looks like we're good. Sometimes YouTube is kind of interesting. Sometimes it is smooth and seamless, and I could just, go on and there's no problems. And then there's other times I go on and there is crashes and all sorts of technical issues. Like right now, it looks like it's not gone. It's live on my end, but it's not live on your end. So let me see why. Let me double check. Checking. All right. So I do see live viewers here, but it's not showing up on the desktop as live. So I'm not. Oh, there we are. I'm here. So I don't know how much you guys heard because it was just black on my screen, but I had to refresh it 10 times and now I can see myself. So welcome, you guys. Hello, Kelsey. Glad the creeps are gone. I'm here from Alberta, Canada. Yeah, it gets kind of crazy, doesn't it? Sometimes I can handle it, if they're really, really out of control, I can get them out of the chat room. But it looked like I just went to the swamp, and I just was like, I have to start this entire live all over again. Well, what I'm here for, when I'm not traveling, doing our Sacred Earth retreats with Riz, I like to, when I have a moment, and I do have a few, not even very long today, less than an hour, but I like to do these little spiritual check-ins because this is an opportunity for you guys to, if something's on your mind or you're going through something at this moment, or you need some encouragement or some upliftment, or you need a little heart massage, or you just need to know you have a friend, or you just need to know you're okay and this world is not as crazy as maybe you think it is, I can do my best to try to help you to find the sunny side of life. And I love this job. I love to be able to do this. This is what as you can see with 1,000 videos, and now we're over 500 subscribers. This is what we love to do. So anything I can do to help, I'm here as an empath, as a coach, as a shaman. And if you have any questions, you can shoot away. The topic I'd like to talk about is how to bring magic into the ordinary. And I'm going to give you one little example, and then we'll launch in. But let me say hello to y'all first. Hello, BAT. Okay, so hey, Paul, hope you're feeling better. We finished our live last night shortly after you left. So we were all, it was a late show, but it was really fun. And we were just very relaxed last night. Hi, Ralph. Hi, B. Walker. I need your feet. Oh, okay, here we go. So not all the, I can get to all the swamp mongers here. If you guys see anybody that, I don't see, if I'm talking and I can't see a chat, I wonder if you can report it. If you want to report and you want to try to get somebody off the chat, just report it. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example of something you can do to help you to bring magic into your life. So let's say you have this routine and every day it's the same and you're bored out of your mind and you just keep going to work and you come home and you do the same thing every single day and there's no variant. You don't want to take any classes. You don't want to start up any hobbies. That all sounds just too extreme. And you don't have the patience to sit through meditation and you just are kind of like, I want to do something different. You would be so surprised. Sometimes the best thing to do is to go to things that are off the beaten path. So like you plan a little outing with yourself. It could be just for an hour. It could just be for a couple hours and you just go to a store. So let's think it could be anything from like memorabilia stores to collector stores. You can go to consignment stores. You can go to antique shops, anything that has a eclectic kind of different type of objects. Okay. And just walk in with the intention, bring a tea with you or a coffee, and just with the intention, walk around and just see what comes out of the woodwork and get your attention. Like it could be something your grandfather had, is something that you used to have when you were a kid. It can be something you've never seen before, or it just something that catches your eye. And you hold that object and you just look at it and give yourself permission and time. That's why you have to go by yourself, to sit there and really be with this object and look at it and have the memories flood in and have it spark something for you. And if you need to go to a couple stores, if you need to keep trying, you will be surprised. You will eventually find something that you will be sparked. And when you get that little spark, it's like a little ember in the fireplace that just starts the little fire. And sometimes that's all you need, is just to train your brain to think of something different. Let me see where we're at here today. Okay. Hello. A spiritual channel jester. Oh, we got another one. Okay. Who do we have here? Oh, hello. Okay. Yeah. So we are PG and PG-13 on this show. So if anybody wants to do anything beyond that, we're just going to block you. So letting you know that. And so far with these filters, we're okay. The first time around, you guys, I had to stop and start over. So these are the little things that you can do. You can start these little things. Like, let's say you have a cubicle, you're working in an office and you're seeing the same drab walls every day. But if you bring with you a little special object, or you bring with you like something that your mom gave you or your brother gave you, or a little picture, or it can be like a trinket, or it could be a toy, anything that reminds you of who you are, always bring something with you. Because like for me, it's my cell phone cases. Like when I'm out in public, I have the craziest, wildest cell phone case. Let me show it to you. I took it off of the phone, but it looks like this. And I carry this cell phone case with the large tassel, and it's really wild. You see how crazy? And the reason I carry this with me is because it reminds me of my trips to Tokyo when we take our groups, which we're going next spring. If you guys want to join us, we just had to put a new date up because more people were interested and we just came back from Japan. But when we're in Tokyo, I just love this feeling of this like humor and childhood fun and silliness and just keeping your vibe high and keeping yourself silly. And so that's why I have this. And so when I go out in public, sometimes when there's nothing to laugh at and you're just like looking at miserable people or people are just standing around, you always remember who you are and wherever you go, you always take something with you. So don't just raw dog it out there. Okay, guys, you have to like take care of yourselves when you're out in the wild. Okay, so hello to Daniel, and let's see who else is here. We have our little crew coming in. It's 9:36 in LA right now. Tell me where you're from, what part of the country or the world. If you know anything about us, my husband is psychic medium and trance channel Riz Mirza, and in November, we're going to be going to West Virginia. He's going to be channeling alongside Daryl Anka and Bashar and Wendy Kennedy and Sheila Gillette and others. And it'll be really fun. And if you guys want to see Riz channel and also do a workshop with him, you can sign up. Just go to channelpanel.com and sign up under Riz's name and you can see him there. Also, we're really excited that we are going to start bringing the Circle of Light back in a new format. So we are going to be doing a series, and I'll say more about it later. This is in the beginning stages, but we are going to be having Riz channel on stage and taking random questions from the audience, like kind of in the same format Esther Hicks and Abraham did. And so we're going to be doing these in various locations in the West Coast starting, but we're going to hope to come out to the rest of the country and start doing these regularly starting this year. And the first one I think is going to be in June. We'll give you more information and we're very, very excited. You'll get to see him channel and talk and listen and meet Red Eagle and the guides that he channels. And it's really, really exciting. So hello, Reno 911 Nevada. I love that show. So hilarious. So yeah, spiritual check-in means, and why I'm here, it just means, how are you doing in this skin body of yours, walking around here on this planet that we call Earth, this 3D, somewhat material, multidimensional game, life game, Earth game, education that we're learning. This place we live in that we have agreed to come together to create ourselves, learn about ourselves. If you're having any questions or issues or things you want to work out or talk about, I just throw my 2 cents in there on how it has worked in our life, how it's worked in all of our clients' lives, things that we have applied, the principles, universal laws that we have applied to our everyday life. So I love when the practical and the 3D meets the physical and the metaphysical and the spiritual, and it all just comes together into one giant expression of multidimensional creation. That is what we're really doing, is we're living this spiritual, physical, metaphysical life. It's all one experience, and you're getting to know yourself, you're opening your eyes and finding out there's more to you than meets the eye. Okay, so I'd like to know if there's any questions. I'm checking in. There's a few people coming on, a little sleepy. We're kind of just starting our day midweek. It's not the time people like usually are working on themselves, but that's why I did a sneak attack. It's the best time to work on yourself. Hi, Cassidy. One time you mentioned dark circles under the eyes being a manifestation of inner sadness. Can you talk about this more? You know, the thing is, just like anything, okay, you can have, and you're very psychic, by the way, because I'm actually going to do something about that today. You know, dark circles are many things. You have hereditary dark circles. You have the color of your skin, if it's very thin under your eyes. Certain cultures, certain races of people have more discoloration or color under their eyes than some other people. Like my dad didn't have it. My dad had like white under his eyes, and my mom had really dark circles. So on my mom's side, I got it from her side. But it also can be pointing to anemia, which I had childhood anemia and I have still anemia, but I work on that with iron and taking all the things I need to take. So there's the physical, right? So you always have to look at the physical first. And you have to look if you're sleeping enough and how much you're crying. Because if you're a big crier and you cry all the time for everything and you're rubbing your eyes, that also causes it. So you have to look at all the physical stuff first. And then you can look at the metaphysical and the spiritual side of dark circles. Dark circles, when you look in the mirror, it gives feedback that you're sad. That's the feeling that you see, or you're tired. You look at it and you're like, damn, I'm getting older. I look sad. I look tired. Even when I was younger, I used to look in the mirror, like before I wore makeup, and I would see the dark circles and I would be like, everybody else looks so healthy and bright and happy. And here I am looking like I just been through something, or I'm coming out of like an illness. Or some people would say to me, like, did somebody like sock you in the eye? Or like, why is your eyes so black? And I'm just like, oh my God, it was horrible. And I hated it. And, it took me years to figure it out. And, also, fillers. Let me talk to you about fillers for a second. Fillers come in many different types, many different brands, good and bad. You have people who apply them, the medical teams that apply them in the different medi-spas. Some apply them correctly. Some don't apply them correctly. Some have put them in the wrong places and they can, shift or attract water. And now you have a bigger problem. For me, I used to have fillers. I had them all removed and they did cover my circles. And then now I found the right person who's going to help me to put it in the right place and the right product that is not going to attract so much water. It's a very updated, like 2025 product. It has new technology. And what that does, it'll just help me from having to spend hundreds of dollars on makeup constantly just to make sure I keep it covered. That being said, fillers are not for everybody, but the spiritual reason is some people tend to be empathic and more sad in general, or like you feel everything to your heart. You take everything personal and you feel very sad about a lot of things in life, yourself and the world. You take it on. It feels like a burden. And so you feel like you're walking around with the weight of the world. And sometimes it reflects back in the mirror. You can see your expression on your face and you can see that like your face is dropped and there's a sadness to it. And you can see like your eyes looking back at you and it looks like you've been crying. That is very symbolic for what's going on in your mind. And that's symbolic about how you see your life as well. So what I did about it is I wanted to start showing myself that I'm not that I'm actually healthy and happy and vibrant and moving things forward. So I had to change my thinking. I had to start becoming more like buoyant and learning how to get right back up on the horse. If I get knocked down, I had to learn how to see life instead of taking life in the chin, like they used to say. Like I got tired of always feeling like I was taking life, like taking one for the team or taking life in the chin, like always being hit by something. And I had to learn to start looking at life less as a victim and more as like a forward moving, like creator, like a designer, musician, artist. I had to start seeing myself as somebody who contributes to the planet, not always feels like something's being done to me. So it was a lot of mindset shifting. That's how I did it. Okay, let me see what you guys are talking about. Okay. Who's blubbering out whatevers? Okay, so let's get rid of some swampy people. Just get good sleep and stay hydrated. That's very good advice. I got dark circles from my savior, Satan. Okay, we got to get rid of this lovely person. Okay, and hello, Stefan or Steven. THC inhibits REM sleep, less THC, more dreams. That's good to know. Laura Vega, Roman 5:18, but God shows his love for us in that we were still sinners. Christ died for us. Yeah, it's a very complex way of saying that we are all from the same God and we all love each other and love each other in our oneness, because God is oneness. So if that's a complex way of saying we're all love and we're all one and we're all together created by God, then yes, that I agree with, because we all come in love and peace, right? That's the goal. Okay. I miss my dreams and can't remember them. It's been over 9 years. Christine, oh my goodness. I think a lot of stoners smoke so that inhibits their dreams. Nightmares are no fun. Yeah. You know what's really crazy about, because I'm a very, very active dreamer and a very vivid dreamer. What I noticed is there's a lot of things you should take before you go to sleep. And a lot of people don't realize that. You should be hydrated. So don't drink like right before you go to bed, but like maybe an hour or so before you go to sleep, have a really big tall glass of electrolytes in your water. Also take magnesium, and you need to take magnesium because it repairs your nervous system and your muscles while you sleep. So it actually is helping the body to calm down so you can repair. If you are lacking in anything in your body, like mineral wise, you need to absolutely take something before you go to sleep that can help repair. So like you can take, well, some vitamins you can't take at night because it'll keep you awake, but there's some repair vitamins, and I don't want to list them all here right now, but you can look into it, ask ChatGPT, and you could see that there's things you could take before you go to sleep that will help repair your body while you sleep. So while you're sleeping, your body's healing and you're not in like fight or flight. If you're missing and deficient in a lot of things, your body actually kind of freaks out when you go to sleep because it gets dehydrated. There's a lot of things that can like start putting strain on you. Also, if your spine is out of alignment or you're sleeping wrong and your pillow's not right, you could also be pinching nerves. That also aids and helps in creating nightmares and really horrible situations when you're sleeping, like cramps and you're stiff, and you have to make sure you're really sleeping properly. Don't be overheated. You need to be cool when you sleep. So don't have all these heavy blankets, because you want to feel like because your body is going to overheat anyway, staying in one position, and it's doing a lot of repair work. So you don't want to be overheated when you sleep. Try not to have the heater on. If you can help it, keep it low. I keep my temperature in my house around 63 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. That works for us because we like to stay cool. And the nights get cold here, so we don't have to have the air conditioner on, but I'm saying if it's really, really hot and you have to turn the air conditioner on, if we turn the air conditioner on, we drop it down to about 68, 69. Because we get too hot. So those things help you have better night's sleeps and less nightmares. What you eat before you go to bed, if you eat late, if you have a big meal, if you eat a lot of sugar before you go to sleep, those things also could be a problem. If you're festering on topics or things that happen during the day and you won't let go. So like you're angry, you're sad, you're upset, you're mad at somebody, you won't let go, and you're festering on it. That can also go into your nightmares or creating nightmares. And that can also be ways that the body is trying to purge out these excess thoughts. So there's many ways that you can get a hold of your dream time and your sleep time to have better sleep. I've tried a lot of things, melatonin gives me nightmares, which is crazy, but it does because it affects the hormones. If you're hormonal, let's say you're a man and your testosterone is dropping and your levels are off, that's why everybody should get their blood work done. You could also have nightmares because of that, because you're off balance hormonally and it drops in the middle of the night. Also for women, especially if you're menopausal or you're in your moon cycle, you will also can have nightmares and crazy dreams if your hormones are dropping, your progesterone is going too low, or your estrogen is shifting. So many, many, many reasons why and how you can have nightmares. There's a list. So you can try to stay on top of that and you can eliminate a lot of that. And if you want to remember your dreams, all you have to do is start telling yourself before you go to sleep, I want to remember my dream while it's happening. I want to be awake for my dream when it's happening internally. I want to pay attention, and I want to remember my dream when I wake up. And you have to learn how to meditate a little bit before you go to sleep. And then right before you wake up and get out of the bed, that little moment when you open your eyes, stay in bed and close your eyes and try to recall the dream and start training your brain to remember the dream. And that's how you can start remembering. So let me just check in with you guys. Okay. Hello, Stefan. Michaela, I think a lot of stoners smoke so that it inhibits their dreams. Nightmares are no fun. Can you overdo magnesium? Yes. Yes. Make sure you do a test. I always do blood work twice a year. I get blood panels. Dr. Mark Hyman has a 100-point biomarker test that you can test for 100 things, more than any doctor, more than any hospital you're going to go to. It checks every level of all your organs, your nervous system. It checks your blood. It checks everything. Like, do you have enough functionality? Are you missing? Are you in deficit in anything? And so Riz just took his 100 marker biotest. It's a little bit expensive, but he just got his done, and I'm about to do mine next week. I'm very excited. But I have every January when I get my physical, I go and I do blood work, and I'm usually off like 20% on one or two things, and I always tweak that. And the next time I go back, then it's fixed, and then something else is off, and then I'm always fixing because I am towards the end of menopause, so I have been through a lot, so I have to really pay attention. So yeah, definitely test and do blood work before you know what is missing. Otherwise, you will overdo it, and you don't want to overdo anything. Electrolytes and MG. Yes, Florida gets hot. Ginger's rule. Thank you. Okay. Cassidy, Dr. Mark, I need to do biomarkers. Those doctors are not enough. Yeah, no, I'm finding so much information on the internet with Dr. Berg and Dr. Mark Hyman and so many others, but they're my favorites. And I have learned so much. And I have really stopped going to the doctor as much. You know, I used to go for every little thing, and now, like, I'm so holistic now. I take care of myself in many ways, and we supplement ourselves, and we solve problems, and we figure out what we need to do. I mean, it's always good to have Western medicine. It's always good to be able to like go in when you need it for crucial things. And it's also important to understand why they're there. But I think we have, and hopefully we're coming out of an era we lean so heavily and depend so heavily on what doctors tell us at the hospital in the 5 little minute window that you have with them, and they're supposed to know everything, and they're supposed to be super fast and remember all their medical training and what's wrong with you. And, you know, they're human, and there's, you know, human error, you know, of course, you know, I think it's a flawed system at this point. I think we're all starting to understand that. And I think they're starting to realize that we know that. And I think that these angels, these doctors who have really, really taken it upon themselves to take it to the furthest levels of science and bringing us into the next era in the future, are bringing to us such holistic and healthy ways of eating and learning how to self-medicate and self-govern ourselves, and like how to eat properly and where to get foods. And like, we're learning so much about how to take care of ourselves. It's almost like no excuse anymore. You have so much information available to you just right in your hand, in the palm of your hand. And you could just Google, ChatGPT, you could get all the information you need and do a lot of research. You know, don't just take what one person says, but you should see what the consensus is. Because I have healed myself from immune issues and inflammatory issues, chronic pain, joint issues, hypertension, very serious. That's genetic in my family line. Onset diabetes. I've cured myself from, I can't even say, there's probably even more things that severe migraines all the time. Oh my gosh, even my vagus nerve was pinched by my C1, C2 from a car accident, and I had to figure it out. So this took some years, obviously. This was like a 10-year journey, but I literally, and I mean, it was not easy emotionally, right? But I literally, one at a time, I just kept tackling. And then when menopause hit, I was like, oh my God, here we go. And so that was a whole nother thing. And so one at a time, I just worked on each issue to the source. Like Dr. Mark Hyman always says, go to the source. Where is it coming from? From the mitochondria. You start with the mitochondria and you work your way back, and you see what am I eating? What's going in my gut? Is it attacking my intestinal walls? Is there enough biodiversity? Is there enough probiotics, prebiotics? Am I eating the proper foods for my type of my body type and what my body needs. And am I having enough salt? And am I cutting back in the sugars? Am I making sure there's no processed foods? Like there's so much information that has to go into why and how to keep your body working properly as you get older. So this is like, it's a major thing. And I don't know why, like, I think in the future, this like biology classes and health classes we took in school, that needs to be the number one criteria. That needs to be the number one classes we take, is learning how to function in this body, learning what the organs do, learning how to eat, learning how to take care of yourself. Like in Japan, they teach the kids early on how to eat properly, and they teach them how to cook, and they teach them how to take care of their bodies in the form of what they put into their bodies, what they eat. And I'm telling you, we have to learn that because, the United States, America has, the war against food. So I'm not going to get political. I'm not going to go into this wormhole. It's a giant issue right now, and it's very heated, and you should be paying attention and really, really paying attention to what you're putting in your mouth. What are you eating? And you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. It's not up to anybody else. Nobody's putting anything in your mouth. You are the one that's putting things in your mouth. So just make sure what you're putting in your mouth is not going to down the road kill you one day. And so you have to really, really educate yourself. So I don't want to go all down that road right now, but I hope that just gives a little reminder to people and some encouragement in case you have some of these things that I have cured myself from, and you want to learn how to cure yourself from these things and actually heal and go back to homeostasis. All righty. Hello, hello. Hi, A.L. I'm going to call you Athena because I don't know how to pronounce your first name. Hi, Lady O. Hi, Melissa. So fun to see you on Tuesday. My boyfriend and I are coming out to California next month to journey with Riz. Yay. We are so excited. Is there anything helpful we could be doing now to prepare? Hey, Buckshot. Yes, I do have some recommendations, as a matter of fact, and it's just in perfect timing to what I was just talking about. So it would be best if you completely go on a clean diet, like clean food diet, up until you see Riz. So eliminate fast food, processed food, fried food, vegetable oil, and get rid of anything that creates a sluggish environment inside of you that slows you down. You want to remove those things so that you can get the most buoyant, energetic, and fun part of yourself. Like, bring that forward. That is who you want to journey. You don't want to go in sluggish. You don't want to go in with headaches. You don't want to go in with sugar crashes. You don't want to go in with too much carbs in your body that's turning into bad fat, that's turning into sugar and then bad fat. You don't want to go in feeling crappy. You want to go in feeling light and good. You can have maybe one of those days a juice fast. You could do like a wheat. There's all sorts of juice fasts. I'm not going to even go into. If you guys have any recommendations, you can put it in the chat. You could do it fast on a week. One of the weeks, just one day, kind of cleanse your body, get a little reset. You could up the amount of like wheatgrass you take so that you can have those antioxidants and like get your blood nice and clean, and drink a lot of water and walk every day, walk and move your body for at least 20 minutes, get your heart rate up, get your metabolism going, kind of do a little kickstart. If you're not already doing that, don't overdo anything. Don't exert yourself too much. Just do a nice, kind of like a nice, like upkeep, like get everything nice and working nice and fresh and clean inside of you. And that is the best way to go into a journey. And when you go in like that and you do your shaman journey, you feel so good. And then you could just really enjoy everything that happens because you know your body is totally taken care of. And who knows, you may just stay on that clean diet forever. I mean, that's optimum. That's what everybody should be doing. Everybody wants to be doing. It just takes discipline. And you just have to realize that, you know, you're going to be a statistic and you're going to follow in the lines of your family members and your grandparents and the people that you love that are older than you, that did not have this education and that did not know what to eat, and they hurt their bodies and they, you know, created all this disease in the body, and you don't want to follow in those lines. And so you have to take care of yourself. And so you have this opportunity and you have the power to do that. And you are a force of nature. You have to see yourself as a pioneer. You are in the future. You're bringing yourself forward. You are teaching the children under you. You are being an example. You have to fight for yourself. You have to put your foot down. You have to treat yourself better. You have to look for a better, like more quality of life. So that gives you an excuse to take care of yourself. If you don't think life is worth living, then you're not going to take care of yourself. So it kind of goes hand in hand. But which one comes first, the chicken or the egg? And that is the big question. So why don't we eliminate one of them? If you can't eliminate your mindset, try at least to eliminate your diet and change what you're eating that's not good for you, and start eating the proper things. And then what happens is you will click on the positive, good food hormones, as they call it. Food is mood, as Dr. Mark Hyman says. So you'll click on the good feeling hormones and the serotonin levels will go up, and you're going to start feeling better about life. And you're not going to even realize your food intake that you had prior was the reason you were depressed. And you are not going to believe that it's related. And you are not going to believe that you don't feel good because what you put in your body affects your mind and your emotions and your whole state of being. And it's a big deal. It's our biggest conversation in my household. It's 90% of what we talk about. It is the most important thing to discuss, is how to be healthy while you're getting older, how to stay alive and be healthy, how to make it practical, how to make it work for yourself. Each one is individual. So right now we got 3 people out of the 4 people in our home. We have 3 people on the keto diet, the clean keto diet, and it's really helping with inflammation, and hypertension is gone. And I have come in and out of how many carbs could I have. I've tried the dirty keto and it didn't work for me. I tried the carnivorous diet. That was also very hard. I have been vegetarian and vegan in the past. That didn't work for me. I have a genetic disorder where I have a tiny little fragment in my cellular system, my DNA strand, that creates a little bit of anemia. And so I have to have a certain type of amino acids and also animal protein. So I'm really thriving on the clean keto diet, and I'm making sure that I'm taking all the magnesium and all the supplements, and I'm taking I always say MNM or NMN. Mark Hyman has a really amazing cellular rebuilding supplement line that I take for 3 months now, and my nails are getting stronger. Hair is growing back. Everything is like kicking on. And I know it's from that, even though I take like 20 supplements a day, but I know it's from the cellular rebuilding, because I've taken a lot of these supplements before over the years and I never saw real change. And I'm really starting to see it. So it's called MNM. And Dr. Mark Hyman sells it on his website, and it's cellular rebuilding. So it starts from the mitochondria. So you're literally feeding the mitochondria. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. Yes, Athena. One thing that helps me if I eat something and I get really tired after, that informs me that my body is having a hard time with what I ate and it's not the best for me. You know what? That is so accurate. Oh my God, I could say so much about that. So it also has to do with the time of day, right? Because there's certain windows of time that the body is functioning at its optimum for food intake, where the metabolism is the highest. And of course, we all know it's between 11:45 to about 2 o'clock. That's like, I had to even narrow it down even more to like 12 to 2. That's really when the body can metabolize. Some people metabolize early in the morning, which is interesting to me. Not everybody's body does that, but some people, like, they get up in the morning and they're already burning. I don't know anybody personally that does that, but I have heard that exists. Their metabolism is different, so they have to have their fuel intake in the mornings. But most people, the biggest, strongest, most healthiest, most power-packed meal should be in the middle of the day. And then you can burn it off. And then in the evening, cut back at least half of what you just ate at lunch. And at dinner, have something that is less than that, but protein filled, so that you can use it for fuel, good fuel, but you don't need a lot of excess carbs. You don't need all those carbs. So the body is struggling to break all those down into sugar and then turning that into fat. And then your body's going to start slowing down the metabolism so it can burn that fat. And then here we go in the cycle again. It's not worth it, you guys. And, that includes starches. So like, the white potatoes and the white rice. And I know these are the best foods that we love to eat, but these are the culprits, I'm telling you. And if you have sweet potato, do it in moderation. I learned that the hard way because I thought I could just like mainline sweet potato, and I found out that I cannot, because and I also thought I could have a lot of hummus on the keto diet, and you can't have a lot of hummus. It's only a certain amount of grams because it also has a high carb content. So really it is carbs. That is the big thing that creates inflammation, and those carbs turn to sugar. So you're dealing with a different kind of sugar that goes into like what we call brown fat, right? Which is like that fat that's, surrounding your organs, visceral fat, I think it's called. And that's the hardest fat to get rid of. And that is what creates that high cholesterol that attacks your heart. You guys, it's all connected. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not an expert. I'm not certified in anything regarding food and health. I'm telling you what worked for me personally. At my age at 52, with 5 kids and a full life running my business, I've been through it all, and I'm just telling you what works. Okay. So let's see what else. How does one remove metals since I love to eat fish? Well, here's the thing. You need your omegas, right? So you need your omega-3s, but you have to do it in moderation. So if you're eating constantly, if you're eating fish all the time, the best thing I would do immediately is start cycling off. Just cut back. Personally, for me, I don't eat fish more than twice a week. I do wild cut salmon once a week and a white fish the second day of the week. And I split them apart. And I take omega-3s the rest of the time. And I have good fats like avocado oil and avocado. And that's completing the omega oils. And I also have MCT oil in my coffee. So that completes the whole oil area. And you can cycle off of fish and your body will start to purge and detox those heavy metals. But you have to, I wouldn't cold turkey just like remove fish from your diet immediately unless you're at like super high toxicity levels of mercury or something. But if you're just heavy metals, I just believe that like a lot of green in your diet. Like in my case, I like wheatgrass. I feel like wheatgrass gets to the point really fast and you get right to the bloodstream and start cleansing that bloodstream out, and lots of hydration and flushing and red light therapy. You can go in and also detox that way. Make sure you always drink a ton of water when you detox. You can start running and sweating like on the treadmill or doing the stair stepper or any kind of dance classes or something, and start like sweating and you just need to detox all these heavy metals out. Really, that's the best way. That's what worked for me. And go easy on what you eat during a detox period, because you don't want to overload your system with like a bunch of heavy meats and other big, rich, layered foods in large portions while you're detoxing heavy metals, because that's not going to make any sense at all. The body needs less to work with. You don't want to distract it by having it focused over here, trying to digest all this huge giant meal you just ate while you're trying to detox fish and heavy metals. What you want to do is lighten the load here, eat less here, so the body can like have a moment and say, okay, thank you. Let me go over here now and work on these heavy metals. Your body operates like a fine-tuned machine. It's like a Lamborghini or a fine Swiss watch. And it is so delicately balanced and so intelligent that all it takes is you just remove one thing here and then this part comes up. Like that's how quickly it is geared and set to constantly be in balance at all times. So your body wants to always, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, relentlessly from the day you were born, it wants to be in homeostasis. It is always asking for information and things from you that you're going to provide it to keep it in homeostasis. And it's your job to figure out what it is that it needs. Like I love bar food and like baseball game food and like 32-ounce sports drinks and like Coca-Cola and hot dogs and Danish like hot dogs and like Polish hot dogs and like hamburgers, big juicy fat hamburgers. And I like all this kind of like party food. I love everything, chicken wing, all the things that are bad for you is what I love. I love it. The taste and everything. And who, of course, a lot of people do love it. And there's a lot of reasons why, because there's a lot of addictive things in those foods. But those foods, when you're eating them when you were young, you can get away with it, like they say. But as you get older, you can't digest, your metabolism is down. And if you don't want to hear this, you guys, I'm sorry. I know it's not fun to hear this, okay? But what's fun is when you get control of your life and when you get control of your body and your health, that's when things get really fun, because then you can go on that plane trip. Then you can go on that long hike through the Roman Colosseum and go through the city and enjoy your life. Or you can go in deep sea diving and do all these things that you want to do physically, but you can't because your body's not healthy. So your body wants to get healthy right now. It is asking, begging, pleading, and wanting and requesting for you to give it proper foods. And if you do it in 24 hours, you guys, you don't understand. In 24 hours, your cells get the information that you're no longer having to defend yourself against processed foods and toxic foods. So the body starts to immediately lessen the inflammation because it's not having to process these foreign objects that you're putting in your body. And immediately the inflammation starts to go down. The headaches go down as well. Your digestion improves. This is all within 24 hours. So could you imagine what a day would look like, 2 days would look like, 3 days, a week? Could you imagine what your body is saying? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll put that here. I'll put that there. And then you detox and dump what's not needed. And imagine what 3 months looks like. And then now imagine what a year looks like. Could you imagine? You're going to age backwards. Your cells in your skin they're going to repair. Your eyes are going to get better. Your teeth will stop going bad. You'll start reversing. Things start healing. It's not that we're deteriorating when we get old, you guys. That's not what it is. Is that we had bad eating habits from the beginning, and those bad eating habits never changed. And then the body couldn't keep up with it because the natural decline of metabolism and just energy resources and just the natural decline that happens in some areas of your body, bone density, things like that. So what ends up happening is you keep eating bad and you get older, and now forget it. There is no hope because it just goes downhill from there. The body can't fight all these things that you're putting in your body. It doesn't know what to do with it. And you get sicker and sicker and sicker. So that's why it's so important when you start getting to that age. And some people can't even get away with it in their 20s, but like you get to a certain age where you're just like, okay, wait, I got to watch this. I can't be just pounding beer and pounding red wine and pounding out all this sugar. Like I have to watch what's going in my body because it's affecting my brain. I have brain fog. My hormones are out of line. I don't feel good. I feel anemic. I just feel like I can't run anymore. I can't play. I can't go have fun. And some people have kids. You can't even keep up with your kids. It's a big deal, you guys. This is such a big deal. I mean, this is really the only topic to really have, because when you feel good and you're healthy and you're happy and your brain is functioning properly and your emotions feel good and you can smile and laugh and be like that kid you once were, life is good and it's all worth it. It's all worth it. I don't ever want you guys to ever give up on yourself. Ever, ever, ever say it's too late. It is never too late. I have reversed every single thing that went bad in my body. I even had I had breast implants put in my early 20s. I had them for 25 years. I had them removed like 2 or 3 years ago, my breast implants. And I had that breast implant illness. I had that toxic shock syndrome. My whole body was flushed with toxins for 2 years. I was in head to toe pain until I detoxed that. And that's where I found Mark Hyman, by the way. That's when he came into the picture, and I learned how to detox all of it out of my body. And I did. It's a big deal. Okay. Let me see what you guys are all talking about. Hello, Ball. Is it Ball or Bale or Ball? Ball. Ice cream is delicious, and there's many ways you can have ice cream. You can have coconut ice cream. Can you imagine how good coconut ice cream is? Because coconut is so naturally sweet and yummy and creamy. You can have coconut ice cream. You can have ice cream that's made with monk fruit. You can have all this ice cream that has natural. You can even make ice cream with stevia that has 0 sugar. So yes, you can have ice cream. It's totally fine. I was just thinking the other day, haven't seen you guys in a bit, then last night and now this. Yes. I'm finding it takes a lot longer to get that sweat going. You have to hit the 20-minute mark. If you don't like fish, don't eat it. Just have your omegas. You know, not everybody likes fish, and I totally get it. As far as getting that sweat, you have to raise that heart rate. And so you have to go past that 20-minute mark. Some people, if you run, you can get there at 10 minutes. Mark, I think it was Mark or I know there's some doctors that say you can do this interval training where you walk, then run, then walk, then run, then walk, then run, and you get that heart rate going up faster. So you burn fat faster. So you do a little walk, then you do a sprint, then you walk, you sprint, you walk, you sprint, and you can do it in small increments of like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, or 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And what happens is you get that heart rate fast because that quick spurt, then you slow it down. Then you have that, the body goes back into that relaxation mode. Then you go back at it again. And so that is a really fast way to get that heart rate up because you need to start circulating that your blood through your heart. It's really important that you keep your heart healthy. And those intervals are really important. I'm not a physical therapist or a physical anything. I have no certification in health, and that's just what works for me. I'm just wanting to always clarify that. That's just what I do, what we do. Thank you, Michael. I was hoping I was going to speak to somebody's soul out there because I'm not going to be able to stay on much longer. I wanted to get some little encouragement. I try to do these little weekly talks, a little spiritual check-ins in the middle of the week, a little surprise attack, because I want to encourage people when you start getting in your head and you start to think life sucks and life is bad and life is boring and why am I doing anything? I always want to bring in a little bit of a ray of sunshine, a little bit of hope, a little bit of information, what worked for me, things that helped me in a very technical way so that you understand that this is real. You really can change your life. You really can feel better. And if you need to listen to our videos or me, and listen over and over. Some videos I've had to watch, like when I listened to Mark Hyman and watched his videos, I had to listen over and over and over because my brain, I was just so numb. I was so tired. I was exhausted from being sick, tired of going to the ER. I was just tired of everything and always in pain and on medication for pain and hypertension. And I was just on so many meds, and I would just watch Mark. And I would just be like, oh my God, I'd have to listen to him over and over. And even though I felt like I was in this numb stupor, the information did get in, and I would start slowly. I just started slowly. I just removed, the first thing I removed was processed food. So no more drive-thrus, right? And then I stopped ordering fried food, and I stopped making fried food, and I stopped using vegetable oil. And there was all these things I just stopped slowly. And I just worked my way and inched my way and started to before I knew it, my entire diet had changed. And the first diet I could say I was really on in the last 5 years was the Mediterranean diet. And that one solved a lot of problems for me at the time because comfort food wise, I still needed the rice. I still needed the hummus. I still needed the experience. I still needed to feel that down home cooking. I couldn't give up my potatoes yet. There was still a lot of things emotionally I had to work out with myself. So I kind of stayed in the Mediterranean diet for a while. And it's a healthier version. If you want to find something that works for you easier and you don't know where to start, the Mediterranean diet is easy enough. And there's a lot of restaurants that you can order from until you learn how to make it yourself to understand it. And it's the right portion sizes, and there's enough fermented foods and tabbouleh and things that help with your digestion. So for me, it's a good way to live as a fallback or a beginner's diet of what to eat to just be safe. You're in the safe zone. Okay. That worked for me. And then I started doing eliminations. So then I would start removing chicken and see how my body reacts. And then I removed fish and see how my body reacts. And I removed red meat. How does my body react? Then I would increase something. So I would increase more probiotics or skipping a meal at night or having a protein shake. And what kind of protein shake? No way. Just, maybe pea protein, which ended up I kept bloating on vegan protein shakes. So I couldn't do that anymore. And anyway, I just started doing this give and take. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, you just remove things for a few weeks and see how your body responds. And what happens if you remove this? What happens if you remove this? I will tell you the foods I removed that I felt the best. And it's the foods I loved the most. It's when I removed the wheat products like pizza crust, like regular pizza crust, or like heavy pastas, like pasta. Those are my favorite. When I removed those, and when I removed French fries, especially not made from home, and the heavy potato intake. So a lot of starches. I had a lot of potatoes and rice and a lot of pasta, like all the yummy, good comfort foods, and a lot of bread. And when I started removing those, you get emotional. You'll go through a crash. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? Because emotionally, you have to find another way to feel good. But I will say to you, and I'm somebody who's a Taurus who loves food, and I'm telling you the truth, that's when I felt the biggest difference. That's when my body changed. That's when my inflammation went down. That's when my stomach went down. That's when my headache stopped. That's when I stopped having bloodshot eyes and sluggish blood, and I couldn't work out and I couldn't run and I felt heavy. It stopped when I removed those foods. And that was the big game changer for me. As much as I love those foods, I said, okay, I have to surrender to the idea that if I want to have a happy, healthy life and live long, because my dad died from a massive heart attack in his 50s and he ate everything under the sun and he was just not healthy. And I just don't want that legacy to continue. And I have 5 children and I have a responsibility and I'm not going to live that life. So I had to get it in control. And I was going right along my father's footsteps. I had super high cholesterol. I had my blood work done. It was like way over 225. I had high triglycerides. I had a possible blockage in the heart. I had super high blood pressure. And it was all my diet. So everything's under control now. Everything's relaxed. I'm peaceful. I've gone through all the dietary changes. This whole thing took me maybe 3 or 4 years to figure out the whole thing because I'm in the middle of menopause too. So I had to add that. And it was hormonal. There's a lot of stuff going on there. But as I worked it all out, I finally came to the resting position I'm in now, which is the clean keto diet. And if you want more information on that, go to Dr. Berg, B-E-R-G, and he has thousands of videos online. He's the best for understanding clean keto. There's a lot of great information out there, but he's the best. So I have noticed, that's when I noticed the weight loss. Water weight drops off the first 10 days. Immediately, you'll start losing weight. You'll start to see the pant sizes go down. As soon as the water weight is done, you start burning good fat. Then you start burning bad fat, and you're using your protein properly. Since there's no carbs, the body's not sluggish. It's not trying to work through all those carbs. And then you get to eat your body gets to eat your actual fat that's in your body and use the protein as fuel. It's a perfect system. And I love it. Okay. All right. Let's see. Pain is only temporary. Yes. NAC. Thank you for reminding me. Oh my God. I can't believe I forgot about NAC. There's an awesome brand that they sell it from Sweden or the Netherlands. And I can't believe I think we take a different form of NAC now. We used to buy it from this especially during COVID, we used to buy it from this laboratory in the Netherlands, I believe. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's a really great lab. And it comes in these little effervescent little, like dissolving tablets, and then you just drop it in water. And it was so great for the immune system, and it built up your immune system so you can really fight off everything. I think it comes in different forms. I don't think you can get it in the US right now because I don't think it's FDA approved. But let me tell you, it is game changer. And I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. I love Mediterranean's good. Don't take my potatoes. I know, Michael. And being that I'm Danish and Scandinavian background, hello, potatoes are life force, like I love French fries. So here's my solution to get out of that. I have segued over to sweet potato fries, and I have sweet potatoes, and I've learned to make them really good and yummy and put the right clarified butter or ghee, and it's so delicious. And I feel good about having that. And I don't have the cravings. By the way, I don't have cravings anymore that's the biggest thing here. Because I'm in ketosis, I don't have cravings. So I don't crave the French fries or the potatoes like I used to. And my body understands that I'm not doing that. So I don't actually need it or want it. And chocolate, like I used to love chocolate because my hormones were off balance. And I used to love like all these different forms of sugar I can't have. And I don't have any cravings. That's the first craving to go is sugar, honestly. You will go through an emotional adjustment, you guys. You'll be grumpy for a while. It happens. Everybody goes through it. And you're grumpy and you're having a bad mood because you don't have any comfort foods and you don't have your old standbys. So you have to find something else. Right? I know. Hi, Carla. Cassidy, I'm super sensitive to all nightshade vegetables. So naturally my diet started to change for the better. Anything that tastes good isn't good for you. That's right. Anna, I don't know how to remove crunchy things. Anna, I am right there with you, girl. I am a big crunchaholic. I have to have crunchy things. What I did was I started switching my potato chips into like sweet potato chips. And there's other crunchy things that you can eat that are healthy, that are made with not like soybean oil or vegetable oil, but made with good oils. You have to learn what those are. Also get your fryer, get yourself a fryer. You can make kale chips. Kale chips are amazing. And you can crunch away. There's a lot of other little crunchy options because if you're a crunchaholic like I am and you like to hear that crunch, you just go search for it and you will find it. Trust me. Don't just give in and grab that Doritos bag, girl. Please don't do that. Sense of nightshades. Yeah. I love food, but I need to control my carbs daily. That's the biggest issue. Everything I cook is Italian. I know, Paul, that's the biggest issue. How long until cravings stop? This is my biggest issue, I think. Well, if you're doing clean keto, you guys, your cravings will stop, I would say in the first 2 weeks to 3 weeks. That's when I noticed it. Even maybe before that, if you're coming from already like a Mediterranean diet, it's much easier. If you're coming from a really heavily processed, like really crappy diet, then yes, it's going to take a little longer on the clean keto for the body to like clean out all the trunk, like all the trash buildup around you. You got to get out of that before you can start removing the cravings, because your body, if you're still having like all this fat and all this like sugar, I forget what it's called when it's the glucose, you're going to you keep having those cravings. But if you start the Mediterranean, then you go into keto, or when you start keto, you will notice that you don't have cravings faster and faster and faster when you start. Like I've removed keto a couple times, stepped back from it, tried something else. And then every time I came back, the cravings went away quicker is what I meant. So like when I first started keto, it took a couple weeks. Then I backed off. Then I did it again. I started up again. And then it was like a week now. The keto cravings. I didn't have any more cravings because of keto. So like the cleaner your system is, the faster those cravings go away. And also you have psychological cravings. That's another thing. Psychological cravings. So we never know what the topics are going to be about when we have these little check-ins and these little spiritual little updates and see where you guys are at in the middle of the week when you think it's going to just be another one of those weeks, but then you have a little moment where you get to check in with yourself. And so we never know where the topic will lead us, but it does come around to health more often than not on our talks, because health and fitness and healing and food is a big top priority. So it makes sense. Tara chips are good. So everybody, hello to everybody. And unfortunately, I'm going to be leaving right now. I'm going to go because we have to. I have an appointment to go to, but if you have any questions, I didn't give any announcements, but let me give you one announcement that I think is importante. So I have a class coming up. Let me just grab that for you. I have a class. It's a 4-part series. It is on the topic of healing yourself from trauma and darkness and coming out of, like when you're coming out of the dark night of the soul, that feeling of like you're coming out of a horrendous like tunnel of pain and suffering, and you are coming out of that. So let me drop that here for you. Let me grab the link. Is there a link? Yes, there is. Okay. I'm going to drop that in the chat box. So I'm going to show you what this is. So this is a course that you can take online with me private with your group, whoever signs on YouTube, and you get a passcode and you join me and we talk for an hour and you ask questions and we have different topics and we cover all things related to the dark night of the soul, all things related to pain and suffering and how to get free from your thoughts and your negative patterns and all the things that have been really bothering you. Let me see if I have a little example thing here. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So while I'm finishing up this talk, you can see this. So basically these are the classes. So June 24th, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard. And also I'll see if I can make this available after the fact if you guys don't have that time availability and you can't join me at those times and dates. I could record the class and have you be able to log in whenever you want to watch it. But these are the topics. So if you guys are interested in that, please go to the link and sign up for that. That would be really great. And really, that's it for this little impromptu get together. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. And remember, watch what you eat. Never too late. Always can start anew. And we're all here to help each other to get through this journey of life. So with that being said, goodbye and namaste.